The Young and the Restless scoop for Tuesday, October 28th, reveals Phyllis Summers will strike a deal with Victor Newman. Also coming up, Kane Ashby will warn Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins, and Billy Abbott will go too far with Adam Newman. Why in our spoilers tease Kane will show up at the Abbott estate to tell Jack about a threat to Jabot. He'll add that his AI program has been stolen. My gut tells me it's Victor, Kane will add. And Jabot is most likely going to be the target. Diane will ask if he's alerted the authorities. Kane will ask who, the feds? Jack will say there has to be a way to stop the onslaught. Otherwise, all the years his family put in at Jabot will be destroyed. That's why I came to warn you, Kane will reply. Jack will say if Jabot goes down in flames, he'll see to it that Kane goes down with it. Diane will tell Kane the thief could be someone closer to home. Perhaps Phyllis is the one who hacked his system. After all, she's perfectly capable of it. Once Kane leaves, Jack will send Kyle Abbott a text, asking him to come home ASAP. Then he'll get on the horn to Billy and ask him to come to the estate. Meanwhile, Phyllis will arrive at the ranch and she'll tell Victor she has Kane's AI program. She stole it and she wants to make a deal. Phyllis will open her iPad and show him the AI. Victor will ask what Kane did to make her turn on him, but she won't give him an answer. If I accept the deal, what's in it for you? He'll ask. At the GCAC, Adam will needle Billy about not being the CEO of Abbott Communications. Billy will say he's the one who put Sally Spectra in the CEO spot. They'll argue about Sally and Chelsea Lawson. Adam will say he worries about Sally. He'll suggest she deserves a lot better than a deadweight like him. You really got to get a life. You pay far too much attention to me, Billy will reply. Adam will bring up Jill Abbott and say it looks to him like she has more faith in her surrogate son than her flesh and blood. Billy will tell Adam to leave his mother's name out of his mouth. Get out from under Jack's shadow, being seen as the less successful brother, Adam will reply. He'll suggest he leave the country. That way we don't have to deal with the stench of your disappointment. And Billy will punch him in the mouth, knocking him to the ground. Chelsea will walk in as it happens, and she'll blast Billy. After Billy leaves, Adam will say he may have thrown a sucker punch, but he's the one who hit a nerve. Chelsea will tend to the cut on Adam's lip. Look, I will never admit this to Billy, he'll tell Chelsea. But I had it coming. I could not resist taking a few pot shots. Then he'll get a text from Victor, summoning him to the ranch. As for Kane, he'll end up at the GCAC restaurant. He'll get a text saying Phyllis is at Newman Ranch. Then she'll walk into the GTAC and sit beside him at the bar. Kane will ask what kind of a deal she struck with Victor, but she'll lie and say she just wanted to find out if he stole the program. I'm not buying it, Phyllis, Kane will reply. Finally, Adam and Chelsea will arrive at the ranch, and Victor will tell them what he says can't go any further. He'll say he had a visit from Phyllis offering to hand over Kane's AI program. She offered it to me, saying it would be for her if I accept it. Chelsea will be shocked Phyllis came to Victor. She doesn't want to get her hands dirty. In this case, I'm happy to oblige, he'll reply. I have no interest in going after Jabot. I just want to crush Jack Abbott. Adam will ask what Phyllis gets out of it. Victor will say as soon as he's wrested control of Jabot from Jack Abbott, they hand the company over to her. Keep reading The Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our Why in Our Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. On The Young and the Restless, Billy and Sally are excited that Abbott Communications is getting a second chance to be launched. Now that they finally have an investor in Jill, it's all systems go. But Billy isn't thrilled that Sally wants to bring Audra on board. What will happen to Abbott Communications once Audra's LA secret is public knowledge? On Friday's episode of The Young and the Restless, Billy and Sally disagreed about hiring Audra to work at Abbott Communications, given the fact that she's burned a lot of bridges, as Billy put it. Plus, Jill may not approve of her coming on board. Conversely, Sally doesn't think they have anything to worry about. Yes, you do, Sally. Little do you or Billy know about the explosive secret Audra's been keeping for months. As Holden told Audra once, if everyone found out about it, she would be destroyed. It must be something horrible, since Audra has never even told her best friend Sally about it. Is she afraid Sally will break off their friendship if she knows? On a side note, kudos to Abby for her choice of autumn decor for society. Those little glass pumpkins on the tables are adorable. We've got to feel a little sorry for Audra. She's all smiles here and eager to start this new chapter in her life. She's finally getting a real shot at a great position, and there's the additional bonus of working with her close friend. But once her big secret comes out, it's all going to blow up in her face. How will the secret affect the company itself? Will Abbott Communications go down in flames just as it's getting started? If Audra committed a serious crime in LA years ago, then it just might. If that happens, then Sally will be furious with Audra. She already suffered a setback after Kane canceled the first launch party and tempted Billy with the AI program, which had Billy thinking that was his ticket to reclaiming Chancellor Industries. Now that Sally and Billy are finally back on track with Abbott Communications, this secret is the last thing she needs to get hit with. If Audra's past comes back to bite her, and Sally's career is jeopardized because of it, then Sally may decide to end their friendship after all. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, Claire asked Holden what dark dealings he and Audra got mixed up in when they lived there. He's been tight-lipped about it ever since January, and this is about the third time Claire has asked him. Considering he hasn't answered her yet, why did she think this time would be any different? There's been a lot of mysterious stuff going on in LA. LA, between Holden, Sienna Bacall, and possibly her husband Mitch. We're guessing all this mystery must have something to do with the secret. Is it possible that Audra and the other three were all involved? The fact that all of this is happening in LA, just as Abbott Communications is about to be launched in GC, tells us it must be more than a coincidence. Kyle wants to destroy Audra for her part in causing his breakup with Claire. If Sienna or Mitch gives him the goods on Audra, Kyle will fly back to Genoa City and expose her secret in the middle of the Abbott Communications launch party. We can't imagine that this will end well for Audra or for Abbott Communications. Will Sally and Billy be able to salvage their company somehow? Welcome to the Young and the Restless Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. The Young and the Restless, like other soap operas, is about a lot of things: romance, adventure, intrigue, social issues, humor, and more. However, the sense of family is what the show's about the most. It's why fans tune in every day. A great example of family on YNR was in today's episode when Daniel Romalotti and his parents, Phyllis and Danny, sparred at Crimson Lights, as only families can. The family Romalotti scenes began with Phyllis grilling her hungover son, Daniel, over his continued involvement in Tessa's life with estranged wife Mariah. Phyllis doesn't want Daniel to be hurt, but she's too late on that one, as the guy was nursing a severe hangover. Danny's arrival helped Daniel a little bit, as the dynamic shifted as to which parent was Daniel's true confidant. Danny asked his son why he'd confided in his mother. "Because he loves and trusts me," the young and the restless redhead boasted. No, she tricked me and she pretended like you told her something," Daniel clarified to his dad, as his hungover brain accurately recalled the true sequence of events. The more Danny and Phyllis tried to one-up each other, Daniel cradled his face in his hands. Despite the seriousness of Daniel's heart being at stake, there was still a lovely, familiar, and almost whimsical rhythm to these scenes. Family members can talk to each other like nobody else can, right? Fortunately, Daniel was rescued by a call from Tessa. "This has been so much fun, but I've got to go," Daniel happily told his parents as he popped on his sunglasses and made his exit. "Dad, I love you. Mom, I love you. You guys try not to kill each other, okay?" Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full YNR recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not. Seriously, do not Forget to read the two scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Lily Winter's heartbreaking exit will ultimately be revealed. Kane Ashby's devastation will follow once Crystal Khalil's maternity leave begins. So let's talk about what's in store. Since Khalil is expecting her third child and is pretty far along based on the size of her baby bump, it's time to start thinking about an exit strategy for her character. Lily will obviously need one due to Khalil's maternity leave. With that in mind, we should consider some possibilities for how Lily might depart the canvas. There are multiple ways to write Lily out, depending on how much drama Y&R wants to deliver. The twins have struggled to cope with the news that Kane lived a double life and concealed his Aristotle Dumas identity for 6 years. Since Charlie Ashby and Maddie Ashby could use some extra support, Lily might have an extended visit with one twin and then the other. The three of them could even spend some quality time together out of town. That could be a simple explanation to keep Lily off screen for a while, but it would devastate Kane to know his family was off bonding without him, especially since he's the reason for the twins' pain. Then again, it's also possible some part of Kane's past as Aristotle Dumas could come back to haunt him. If Dumas has enemies that could cause vengeful trouble, they could easily target Lily. We could imagine some kidnapping scenario if Y&R wants to take a more dramatic route for Lily's exit. Kane would be even more devastated in that situation since he'd be the reason for the danger. Of course, the show could have another departure strategy coming up instead. No matter how Lily's exit plays out, Kane is sure to be heartbroken over being separated from his true love. This will delay Kane and Lily's reunion storyline, but it'll hopefully make it even more satisfying when they find their way back to each other down the road. Lily and Kane will inevitably get back together at some point, but it'll apparently have to wait until Crystal Khalil's maternity leave wraps up. Kane has more work to do before he can even think about winning Lily over anyway. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Kane will get difficult Lily updates once it's time for her to head off screen, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, October 29th, reveal that Victoria Newman and Nikki Newman's joint LA arrival is coming up. Kyle Abbott will also double down on his Sienna Bacall plan, so there'll be a lot happening on the CBS soap. First on Wednesday's Y&R episode, Kyle will once again pump Sienna for info on Audra Charles' past. Although Sienna hinted that she might be willing to help Kyle out, she could easily change her mind and push Kyle to scram. Of course, Kyle has already gotten his hopes up about Sienna giving him some Audra dirt. That's why Kyle will stick with this strategy and put Audra through another grilling session. Will Kyle score the leverage he's seeking or have to leave Los Angeles empty-handed? Regardless, Kyle will ultimately head to the airport following Jack Abbott's text about needing him home as soon as possible. Next, we should talk about Victoria and Nikki, since Victor Newman mentioned that they're headed to LA. Since Noah Newman is comatose and Nick Newman is under so much stress, Nikki and Victoria want to offer some support. However, Victoria may have an ulterior motive when it comes to this trip, since Claire Newman is in LA as well. Claire is having a great time with Holden Novak, but Victoria doesn't really trust him and is afraid her daughter might do something impulsive she might regret. That's why it won't be long until Victoria's having a heart-to-heart with Claire at the hotel cafe. It'll give Victoria a chance to seek updates on Claire's time with Holden and where things stand with Kyle now that he's visited her too. Claire may scold Victoria for giving Kyle her location, but she might also admit she saw Kyle's softer side and is perhaps feeling a bit more torn again. Back in Genoa City, Phyllis Summers will work to protect herself. Since Phyllis wants Victor to do her dirty work and then take over Jabot once it's done, she'll do everything in her power to keep that scheme on track. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis will take precautions and do whatever it takes to make sure good news is headed her way. On The Young and the Restless, Phyllis, or should I say Dark Web Phyllis, goes on a crusade of corporate espionage. But why? On public Wi-Fi? Does she want to get caught? Phyllis wants to be at the table with the big players of Genoa City. She managed to get herself an audience with Kane at his South of France estate and convinced him she could be trusted, and she was all in. Now, Phyllis has stolen Kane's AI software and has offered her services to the great Victor Newman. Many fans feel that Phyllis has gone a step too far on The Young and the Restless, and now that she is doing Victor's bidding and engaging in corporate espionage. This might have been enough for fans to add to the laundry list of red flags that Phyllis is hoisting to say that this lady needs help. This latest detail is being discussed on the Soap Central message boards. Board user YNR25 years wrote, "So as Phyllis talks to herself the entire episode and announces to herself she is now becoming Dark Web Phyllis, she does all her computer genius actions on a CL Wi-Fi on her trusty laptop, rather than a controlled area off the grid." On the heels of her pathetic performance yesterday, crashing the Danny and Christine parties, which might have been a Mate Rushmore YNR cringe day for a character, we now get her emerging from that bonfire as the rising hacker from hell, who must think if she wields her stolen AI as a sword for revenge around GC, that she will be in some bubble of protection from what that fallout will be. Board user Blue Nanny added, "I think when she ended her silly tirade, sitting alone in Sharon's restaurant by saying, 'I will get what I deserve,' she's thinking of something different than what will actually happen to her after her illegal hacking and ridiculous plotting. Hopefully a jail cell where she can gasp and hyperventilate that it's all someone else's fault." Valued contributor. Cloverleaf joined the conversation. "I'm wondering if Phyllis will ever see jail time when this all hits the fan. Obviously, what she's doing is illegal on so many levels, but she keeps thinking she's owed the power she can wield if she uses the program for her own purposes. If Phyllis gets caught, will she still be proud of herself? I can hear the waterworks now. Will she, once again, end up in front of a judge where she begs for leniency because she has kids who need her? This is just another illegal act committed by a woman who is still on probation. Wow! She could do some hard time if she gets caught with her hand in the AI cookie jar, especially having used it without the consent of the owner." Blue Nanny added, "LOL. I felt like taking a marker and drawing a big mustache on her, with both ends curling upward, as she looked around, plotting her stupid, illegal schemes. She was a perfect depiction of a mustache-twirling villain." Board user Soccer Mommy had a valid point. Anything concerning computers, police work, and medicine falls into the "it's a soap" category. Accuracy isn't necessary or even appreciated if it gets in the way of the story. So Phyllis, in a public place, working on whatever she's doing while talking to herself is no surprise. The idea of Phyllis controlling said program is both terrifying and hilarious. What I want to know is why she is doing this in a public space frequented by everyone in town. She has a room, right? What are your thoughts on this comical situation? The Young and the Restless certainly knows how to make us laugh. Has Phyllis gone too far? Does she want to get caught? Or she just wants to be noticed? Leave an idea or comment below and join the discussion. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that 5 revenge plays against Phyllis Summers could be brewing. Jabot's conniving new CEO may pay the price for her latest scheme, so let's talk about the biggest threats that could rise up against Phyllis. Phyllis is willing to hand over the stolen AI program to Victor Newman, who wants to crush Jack Abbott. Victor doesn't have to demolish Jabot to make that happen, so Phyllis wants him to hand over control in the end. Now that the deal's moving forward as of YNR's October 28th episode, we should mull over the consequences Phyllis might face. Phyllis may think she can handle the backlash after a bold move like this, but she may find herself facing these 5 revenge problems. 1. Jack strikes back. For starters, Jack could strike back in a big way if Victor successfully takes over Jabot and surrenders control to Phyllis. Assuming that Phyllis takes the CEO spot herself and does all her usual gloating, Jack may make it his mission to sink Phyllis for her wicked scheme. 2. Diane goes after Phyllis as rivalry reignites. Next, Diane Jenkins Abbott's rivalry with Phyllis could blow up all over again. Phyllis will enrage Diane with this plot and reignite their feud, so you can bet Diane will be coming for her. 3. Kane's vengeance hits hard. Of course, Kane Ashby won't be happy once he gets proof that Phyllis schemed for her own personal gain. Phyllis tried to make Kane believe she was somebody he could trust, but she's only looking out for number 1. Kane already made it clear that revenge would be looming if he found out Phyllis was a backstabber. Phyllis will inevitably face Kane's vengeance, so she'd better be ready for it. 4. Summer's furious response. We can't forget about Phyllis's children, since they're going to be outraged over her actions too. Summer Newman will no doubt have a furious response and might go as far as walking away from Marchetti after Phyllis pulls this stunt. 5. Daniel's anger erupts. Daniel Romalotti Jr. will be just as irritated over Phyllis causing more trouble. Although Phyllis may push Daniel to join her as COO or even offer him the top spot at the company, Daniel may insist Jabot belongs to Abbott's and shut Phyllis out of his life until she makes it right. Bottom line, until Phyllis gives up the control she's planning to steal, she's going to face blowback from her kids and multiple enemies. If Victor actually keeps his word and helps Phyllis rise to Jabot power, she's going to pay a steep price for it. Although she hasn't made an official announcement, the young and the restless favorite Crystal Khalil is expecting her third child, as evidenced by an on-set video. While Khalil has not officially announced her pregnancy, fans have been speculating she might be expecting a new bundle of joy for months. However, it became crystal clear in an Instagram video shared by several actors and produced by co-star Melissa Claire Egan. In the video, Eric Braeden leads much of the cast in a dance rendition of the Michael Jackson hit Thriller. As we watch the actors have fun, we can spot Khalil dancing around with a very obvious pregnant belly. You can see her holding her baby bump as she rubs her tummy in anticipation of her impending arrival. Khalil is already the mother of a 15-year-old son, Michael, from her first marriage. She has a second son, Remy, who was born in 2024. Khalil also kept that pregnancy a secret for months, finally revealing it in a 2023 video of her time at the Monte Carlo Film Festival, in which her bump was also obvious in several shots. After her son was born, Khalil announced his birth by sharing a video of his tracheal nursery, stating, "So in love with the peaceful vibes for our baby Remy." Both Remy and Michael were in attendance when Khalil wed her current husband, Sam Rastagno, in 2024. On screen, Khalil's character, Lily Winters, has been seen behind potted plants and with big purses in front of her belly to conceal the actress's pregnancy. Lily is already the mother of 2 young adult twins, Charlie and Maddie, born via surrogate. As the character is unable to become pregnant due to a hysterectomy when she was younger, there is no word on when Khalil is due with her third child, so it's hard to say when Lily will once again be written out of the show so Khalil can enjoy maternity leave. Currently, Lily is torn between feelings for her ex-husband Kane and her need to be strong and not let him hurt her again. The Young and the Restless recap for Tuesday, October 28th, indicates that Phyllis Summers' Jabot takeover plot will be revealed. Kane Ashby will also get some spy intel, so let's discuss all the drama happening in Tuesday's Y&R episode. At the GTAC, Adam Newman will push Billy Abbott's buttons about the failed Abbott Communications launch party and the fact that Sally Spectra is in charge of the company. Adam will also get under Billy's skin by suggesting he should leave the country and create his own version of Aristotle Dumas. Billy will get especially agitated when Adam throws Jill Abbott's betrayal in his face. By the time Chelsea Lawson walks in, Billy will deck Adam and leave him with a busted lip. Chelsea will scold Billy and play referee until Billy ultimately takes off. After Chelsea tells Adam that Billy was in the wrong, he'll appreciate her taking his side. However, Adam will show some growth and admit he deserved to get decked since he was provoking Billy. At the Newman Ranch, Phyllis will tell Victor Newman that she stole Kane's AI program and wants to make a deal if he's interested. Victor will wonder why he should trust Phyllis and will wonder if she's playing a game for Kane. Phyllis will prove she's in possession of the program by pulling it up on her laptop and making Jabot the program's target. Victor will wonder what's in it for Phyllis if she gives him control of this program, so she'll spell out her terms off-screen and strike the deal. Afterward, Victor will summon Adam to the Newman Ranch, so Adam will bring Chelsea along and insist she should be part of this meeting. Victor will allow it, but he'll make it clear that everything needs to stay hush-hush. After Victor offers updates on Phyllis's visit and her software theft, he'll explain that she's willing to hand over the AI program on one condition. "As soon as I have wrested control of Jabot from Jack Abbott, we hand it over to Phyllis," Victor will say on Tuesday's Y&R episode. At the Abbott mansion, Kane will tell Jack and Diane Jenkins Abbott that his AI program was stolen. Since Diane and Jack will be shocked, Kane will realize they had nothing to do with the theft. Jack will wonder if he came there to warn them or accuse them, but Kane will act like he simply had to be certain the Abbotts weren't to blame. Kane will confess that he suspects Victor is behind this, but Jack and Diane will also consider Phyllis's potential involvement. Regardless, Jack and Diane will worry about Victor targeting Jabot. If Jabot goes down in flames, then Jack will warn Kane's going down too. Once Kane exits, Diane and Jack will discuss beefing up cybersecurity even more and making sure any sensitive data is offline. Since the Abbotts need all hands on deck, Jack will text Kyle that they need him home ASAP, though he won't offer any details just yet. Diane and Jack will agree about the importance of keeping Claire Newman out of the loop. Jack will also decide that if Phyllis is involved, and he'll bet she is, they need to deal with her. Moments later, Jack will get Billy on the phone and ask him to come to the Abbott house right now. Back at the GCAC, Kane will order a drink at the bar and get a text from the spy who's been watching Phyllis. Once Kane learns Phyllis just left the Newman ranch, she'll pop up and join him at the bar. Kane will call Phyllis out on her meeting with Victor, but she'll act like she was just there to suss him out. Phyllis will assure Kane that Victor was behind the program theft and that he's going to turn the tables to go after Arabesque. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Kane will have to decide what he believes, so stay tuned for any other tricky news he might face. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease that Sharon Newman is headed for deadly danger as she follows Noah Newman's trail. Ever since Sharon got to Los Angeles and found out her son had been in a serious wreck, she's been in a mess of fearful emotions. Sharon's had too many deadly déjà vu fears concerning her children as of late. Sharon has endured far too many hospital stays due to her children's car accidents. But this particular incident stands out as it's not just a straightforward mishap. There's a more complex backstory hidden beneath the surface, prompting Sharon to seek answers to her pressing questions. Nick Newman has been attempting to unravel the situation through discussions with Sienna Bacall, yet he hasn't made much progress thus far. Soon, it will be Sharon's opportunity to delve deeper into the troubling circumstances surrounding Noah, which almost led to his demise, but she too will encounter danger. Detective Burrow is acting suspiciously and is clearly withholding information from Noah's parents, but he does seem to be correct about the fact that Noah was deliberately forced off the road. If Sharon gets too close to uncovering the truth, it's entirely possible that someone might try to do the same thing to her. However, there's also the chance that she could become a target in a different manner, as her quest for answers intensifies. The reality is that, according to Y&R spoilers, Sharon is bound to encounter some perilous situations. We will witness her efforts to piece together what transpired with Noah, which may land her in a frightening predicament as a consequence. Will Sharon narrowly evade her own dark destiny? Might this situation lead her to cross paths with Sienna's husband, Mitch Bacall? In any situation, you can rest assured that Nick is always close by, ready to spring into action whenever Sharon finds herself in a tough spot. There seems to be a chance for Nick to come to her aid, depending on how events unfold. Sharon's harrowing experience is set to begin on October 31st, which means that Y&R might just be preparing for an exhilarating Halloween cliffhanger. According to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, we can expect some unsettling news to be revealed soon. So keep an eye out for updates regarding Sharon's future. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y&R right now. Come back here often for The Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Tuesday, October 28th, 2025. In tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Victor Newman to make a new deal. Jack Abbott receives a cryptic message. Plus, Adam Newman pushes Billy Abbott too far. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Phyllis Summers. Despite Danny Romalotti being freaked out over that text message, the redhead will continue her risky plan. Phyllis hasn't really had anything or anyone in a while, so this is an all-or-nothing situation. Under normal circumstances, Danny might mention it to Christine Blair, but it's too close to the wedding. At the Newman Ranch, Phyllis will show up to talk to Victor. The patriarch will wonder what the annoying redhead will have to say. However, His eyes and ears perk up real quick when Phyllis mentions stealing the AI program. Phyllis put it in Kane Ashby's head that Victor must have stolen it. Now Phyllis is going to pressure Victor into making a deal with her. In her mind, it will give her everything she's always wanted. However, money is pretty useless if you have nobody in your life to share it with. At least, that is what the soaps have taught us. Victor will make an unexpected deal. However, Phyllis and Victor are both opportunists and manipulators. So, let's see if either of them can honor the terms of the deal. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, October 28th, reveal that Jack Abbott will receive a cryptic message. We know from a weekly preview clip that Kane tries to urgently warn Jack and Diane Jenkins Abbott. However, they are unsure whether to trust Kane. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates suggest that Victor Newman might seek deadly revenge, ensuring that a culpable character faces the ultimate consequence. Victor, furious at the prospect of one of his grandchildren having been targeted, could strike back fiercely against a fresh adversary, aiming for nothing less than an early demise. When it comes to family, there's one undeniable truth that fans have come to recognize about Victor. He is fiercely protective and does not take any threats lightly. Victor's devotion to his children, and particularly his grandchildren, is unwavering. Anyone who dares to inflict harm on a member of the Newman clan is likely to find themselves facing dire consequences. With his immense power and a vast network of connections, Victor has the means to ensure that justice is served. This is precisely why Holden Novak felt compelled to caution Sienna Bacall about the lurking dangers in the thrilling episode of Y&R that aired on October 23rd. Holden has made it abundantly clear that the Newmans are not to be trifled with, as their influence stretches far beyond the confines of Genoa City. Currently, Noah Newman lies in a hospital bed, comatose, the result of a tragic incident where someone seemingly forced him off the road and into a deep ravine. Victor, ever the protective grandfather, is determined to ensure that the individual who caused this calamity faces the consequences for the harm done to his cherished grandson. Meanwhile, Sienna is harboring more information than she is willing to spill, yet she is not the one to blame in this situation. In fact, she was taken aback and deeply unsettled when she received updates regarding the shocking news of Noah's terrible misfortune. However, it's worth noting that Sienna's husband, Mitch Bacall, could very well be the one behind this sinister act. With Roger Howarth's first appearance just around the corner, it seems almost certain that he will take on the role of Mitch. When Howarth's casting was initially revealed, it was announced that he would be joining the show for a significant story arc. While there's a chance he could remain longer, it appears to be more of a temporary stint focused on the drama surrounding Noah. If Howarth is indeed playing Mitch and is linked to the near-tragic fate of Noah, then his storyline might conclude with Mitch's takedown by Victor. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y&R right now. Come back here often for the Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. Young and the Restless, 2-week spoilers for Octu 27, Nov EO 7, 2025, Hint Kane, Ashby warning somebody, and Sharon Newman in danger. Monday, October 27th, we've got Lily Winters meeting with Kane, and she hopes that he is going to hand her the AI program because she wants it destroyed. But Kane has to tell her that somebody stole it, either Victor Newman or Phyllis Summers. He worries that Victor has it and will target Jabot, and he'll somehow be blamed. But he also says Phyllis is a likely candidate as well, because she was really worked up because he wouldn't use it for chaos. Lily blames him for even telling people he had it. Kane promises that he will fix this, get the AI back, and then he and Lily can destroy it. She tells Kane they need to jump on this because whoever took it is probably going to use it ASAP before anybody has a chance to shore up their defenses. Chelsea Lawson and Adam Newman are talking about Connor Newman there at the GCAC. Kane interrupts them, asking for Victor, who hasn't returned his calls or messages. Adam doesn't think his dad should bother with Kane and tells the guy he should just leave town because he's got nothing in Genoa City, and says they're going to keep running hit pieces on him. But Kane reminds Adam that Billy Abbott ran hit pieces on Adam years ago, and he still stuck around. So why would Kane do different? Daniel Romalotti is hungover, and his parents, Phyllis and Danny Romalotti, are teasing him. But when Daniel says he was boozing with Tessa Porter, well, that has Phyllis worried. She thinks that Daniel may get hurt because this is a married woman who loves her wife. Tessa has a steamy dream about hooking up with Daniel, but in the dream, the cops interrupt them. They're at the door because they need to arrest Mariah Copeland. Tessa wakes up from this weird dream, also pretty hungover, and she calls Daniel and invites him to come have breakfast with her in her suite at the GCAC. He bails on his parents and heads over to see her. Tessa and Daniel discuss their drunken kiss, and he wasn't even that tipsy. But he got tipsy later, though. When Daniel says it can't go further because she's married to Mariah, we'll see Tessa saying that she thinks her marriage might be over. That sounds like she is giving him at least a yellow flag, if not a green flag, to proceed. Once she's alone with Danny, we've got Phyllis insulting Christine Cricket Blair and telling Danny that his life with the bug will be dull. And he tells Phyllis, stop attacking and find a man of her own to make her happy. But Phyllis doesn't want a guy bossing her around. However, Danny thinks that Phyllis needs someone policing her so she will stop making mistakes. Danny has plenty to say about that. Then, Phyllis gets a text from Victor saying, "Okay, I'll meet with you, come to the ranch." Danny's peeking over her shoulder and sees that Phyllis is texting with Victor, and Danny is very worried that Phyllis is out getting herself into trouble as usual. And as usual, Danny is completely correct about this. Tuesday, October 28th, Victor makes a surprising deal. Phyllis goes over to the ranch and tells him that she stole Tucker's AI, and she basically wants Victor to make her an offer if he wants to use the AI program. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott gets a cryptic message, and it may be from Kane, because this week, Jack finds out from Kane that there is a serious potential threat to Jabot. And I think he's going to tell him that the AI is gone, that somebody has stolen it. And I do think he's going to say that he thinks it's either Phyllis or Victor. Also, Adam pushes Billy to the point of violence on Tuesday. Adam's running his mouth as usual. Billy snaps and punches Adam hard, so hard he collapses onto the floor. It's brutal. Chelsea watches in the lobby of the GCAC, and this may be a headline moment. Wednesday, October 29th. Nikki, Newman, and Victoria Newman leave Genoa City, and they jet to LA to be there to support Nick Newman and Sharon Newman and check on Noah Newman. And I'm sure they're going to check on Claire, Grace Newman as well. Billy is really irritating Phyllis this week. Looks like he shows up and interrupts a meeting that she's in at the GCAC. It could be with Victor. I wonder if Billy is going to say something about the fight with Adam. And I wonder if Victor is going to threaten that they'll press charges. Kyle Abbott corners Sienna Bacall with questions at her club in LA. He really wants dirt on Holden Novak to try and split up him and Claire, but she's not going to give that to him. However, Sienna did tell him she would give him some dirt on Audra Charles, and it looks like she may deliver. Phyllis is busy protecting her interests, and it looks like this is about her stolen AI scheme. Thursday, October 30th is the first day of November sweeps. We've got Michael Baldwin getting a second chance from Victor. He may want Michael back to use as a fixer while he's planning to use the AI that he got from Phyllis, presuming they make a deal, but I doubt Michael would approve of that. Billy and Phyllis are swapping info on Thursday, and Jack is going all out to protect Jabot and the Abbotts, likely from Victor and the AI software. I wonder if Jack will confront both Phyllis and Victor. Friday, October 31st. Sharon is going down a dangerous path looking for answers about Noah's crash. And by the way, Sienna, her husband Mitch Bacall, and Noah are all going to be back in Genoa City by Thanksgiving at the latest. There's some behind-the-scenes photo showing Noah and Sienna in crimson lights, and all the Christmas decorations are up. Holden sees a new aspect of Claire on Young and the Restless. I'm wondering if she's going to get wild for Halloween in Los Angeles. And Kyle goes to great lengths for Harrison Locke. So, I wonder if Kyle is going to hop on a plane and go back to Genoa City so that he can take Harrison trick-or-treating because the kid has scenes on Friday. Also, Roger Howarth has scenes soon. He will be debuting as Mitch Bacall, the husband of Sienna Bacall, the Shadow Lounge manager who is a friend of Holden's and also knows Noah, but we don't have an air date yet. November 3rd through the 7th is the first full week of November sweeps. We've got Kyle back from LA. He may be back in Genoa City, with some serious dirt that he dug up on Audra. Meanwhile, Sally Spectra is relying on Audra to help her run their company, even more so with Billy unhinged. But I wonder if what Kyle finds out about Audra is going to put all this at risk. Nick and Sharon keep chasing leads on Noah's car crash in LA, but the danger to both of them escalates. Nikki and Victoria are there to help, but the family is soon going to be bringing Noah back to Genoa City to fully recuperate back home. Phyllis should know by now she can't trust Victor. The question is, how and when will he double-cross her on this AI deal? And I wonder if Victor plotting to use the AI will anger the other Newmans that actually like the Abbotts like Nikki and Adam, and also his lawyer Michael. Then again, with Noah being in such critical condition, they might not even notice what the mustache is up to. Kane is scrambling to get that AI back, and Danny and Cricket are finalizing their wedding plans. They are tying the knot in sweeps. Will Phyllis crash and make a scene? The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for the week of October 27th, 2025. Fans can expect Holden Novak to see a new side to Claire Grace Newman. Jack Abbott takes a stand to protect Jabot. Plus, Victor Newman makes an unexpected deal. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Claire, who will show Holden a new side to her. Holden has already seen the insecure and sweet side. The young man has also seen Claire have a panic attack, as well as have a drunken confrontation with Audra Charles. So, what else for Holden to discover about Claire? Perhaps she will come out with her seductive wild side. Back in Genoa City, Phyllis Summers meets with Victor. It seems that the redhead will offer Victor a deal he can't refuse. All the major players in GC are trying to protect their companies from Kane Ashby. Now, Phyllis is acting devious and slick to make her own way. It seems that Victor ends up making the deal with Phyllis. Will he actually follow through on his part, though? I have a feeling that Phyllis might get screwed in the end. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of October 27th reveal that Tessa Porter and Daniel Romalotti Jr. make some ground rules for their new dynamic. However, what happens when Mariah Copeland gets better? Fans will also see Kane make a confession to Lily Winters. Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson face an unexpected challenge. Jack receives a cryptic message. Later, Jack will make a bold move to protect Jabot. Victor offers Michael Baldwin another chance. By the end of the week, Nikki Newman and Victoria Newman arrive in Los Angeles. Meanwhile, Kyle Abbott grills Sienna Bacall. Plus, Sharon Newman searches for the truth, but ends up going down a dangerous road. What the heck was Noah Newman involved in? And who was the one who really ran him off the road? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of October 27th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next.